is the book I told you that I would try to go through for you. It's The Artist Trading Card Workshop by Bernie Berlin. And it's got several good techniques. It's just for the backgrounds of your cards in it. And it gives you the whole history of artist trading cards, all the measurements you would need. It tells you the stories. Gives you some good pictures. Hope if everything's not in it, gives you the supplies, and everything in here is stuff you'll have in your house already. So nothing's really hard. I love all her techniques. I prefer to use my Tim Holtz dies or Cricut machine things to put on here, but just basic watercolors on watercolor paper to show you some pretty backgrounds to put on it. Or here she uses watercolor on baby wipes. We all have those, and see what a pretty backgrounds those can make for some things we have around the house. And on here's paper towels. Paper towels make beautiful textured images to stamp on and paint on. And here she uses, this is just a gold leaf resist, and just your dye ink pads with here, and just different, you just rub different, take your little ink pads and rub different layers of ink on it, like collaging layer. And stencils, and she's just taking some, that where you punch, I can't think this morning, my brain's gone, those little sparkly things out, or just anything like a stencil, and use that as the background with your ink pad. And she's used magazine paper pictures here to make this collage. It's just some pictures here showing some of the work she's done. And the gesso I talked about, covering up your whole background of your card and then starting, and then she's using magazine images here and just painting over them, and some more pictures. And never dull, I'm not quite sure what that is. I have to read up on that. But here she's just taking pages out of old phone books and collaged over that, painted. That's really cool. Some examples of that. And here she's just wrapped string around the card as a base, put pictures and things. That makes a really cool background. Just things you wouldn't think of to do that would make interesting textures. The tissue paper here, layer that up. Makes, and there's beautiful tissue papers out on the market today. You can get so cheap. And this is a transparency kind. Now here she looks like she's using some canvas and just pulling out the edges. And fun foam, I love this one. The fun foam with the sticky back, you can run through your cuddle bug. I've run it through my Cricut with my deep cut blade and had real good luck with it. So, and then you just paint over that with the gesso, or you stamp over it with your ink. That turned out beautiful. And then emboss resist, we know that with just putting our clear embossing paper over it, embossing powder, and then putting the colors over it, and then she's painted over that too. And then doing the same thing, and then putting some scraps over it. And then some resin. Some of these things I haven't done yet, but I sure would love to learn to get through it. But everything in here is if you don't have it at your house, it's readily available. And this is kind of like basically those hot pots we see everybody using on an eye tube now. I've got one. They're real easy to work with to make the little shapes. But here she just makes a little shape with foil and kind of makes a card out of one. That's kind of neat. And then here's just no-sew fabric. And she's just putting a little shape on that. And fused fibers, that's very easy. I'm going to show y'all how to do that. I'd love to do that. and hand stitching, just sewing with your hand, stuffing it. That'd be more like the fabric cards. And basically she's just saying every kind of ATC that's ever been made and kind of showing you the techniques for it. And here's some on the machine. My favorites are still to come. Here's one, the metal tape. You know, you can buy that metal tape, like $6 a roll. It'll last you forever. It's alcohol ink's best friend. You can do all kinds of things with it, but it works so well with alcohol ink. You can, and it's, you know, got the sticky back, and you can run it through your embossing machine. I do all kinds of things with it. I run it through your embossing machine, color it with some alcohol ink, and you're basically finished. So it looks like stained glass there. Hope you can see this okay. And then mica, I haven't worked with mica either. But it's beautiful. And I've done a lot with friendly plastic. They sell that at Hobby Lobby and Michael's. Let me show you what that looks like. Well, I guess I'll show you later. I thought I could find it quicker. It just comes in little sticks, like $1.99 a stick, and you can melt it down with your heat gun and stamp in it, and it is so much fun. And these are just examples of more cards that she's done in the back. And I know some of this art in the book is kind of out there, but the technique is there, and it's some great techniques to use. And then here she shows some ways to store them, an accordion book, and she's got a can she puts some little feet on. There's just some different groups, and some gallery of signatures of how people have signed their cards on the back. And so it's just a really cool book. I do have a couple more books. They're not as detailed in technique as that. This one's just rubber stamping trading cards. And this one is by, who is this by? Jill Hagland. And basically this one's just, it doesn't give you a lot of techniques, but it's basically just stamping and embossing on cards, and we can all stamp and emboss. We know how to do all this, so if you just want pictures of stamp and embossed cards and more ways to do that, and collage on cards, or if you'd like for me to go through this book slower, just let me know. But this one just does not have all the different techniques to build on. But this is a good book. But it's got a lot of pretty cards in it. But you know, like I say, it just falls back on the stamping and such. But I do love this book. But as far as the techniques to learn, it would be Bernie's book. But that is Rubber Stamping Artist Trading Cards by Jill Hagland. And then this last book I have is 1,000 Arting Trading Cards. It's mixed media, and basically this is just pictures of cards. And you go through here and there's just 1,000 pictures of cards. And a lot of them, I'd say 90% of these cards are all fabric. But they're beautiful to look at. So, and this is, these are like the top 3 books you can get for artist trading cards. And the fabric cards are very pretty. So, if you like doing them in fabric, I do a lot of sewing. And I've done some in fabric, and they're a lot of fun. But this is the other book. But as you see, there's just basically this is a picture book, more like a coffee table book for ATCs. But that's the 3 books I have. And that one's basically just what y'all probably already know, or if you want more into just the rubber stamping aspect of it with none of the technique part, that this is a good book. But a lot of cool techniques and collage techniques. If you're going to join into the other clubs on your paper pantry, this would be helpful in all of that. Would be this book right here. Well, thank you for your time. And those are these 3 books that I figured good, and I think this one is on top of my pile. So have a good day.